Right now, as you read this, somewhere on this planet, a person just lost their voice permanently. In the next 60 seconds, several more people will lose movement on an entire side of their body, and almost every single time, the reason is identical. Nobody nearby recognized the warning signs fast enough. 2 weeks ago, a message landed in my inbox that I haven't been able to shake. A man wrote to me saying, "My wife had a stroke right there in front of me. I thought she was exhausted, maybe just dizzy. I waited 2 full hours before dialing emergency services. Now she'll never walk without a wheelchair again. 2 hours. That was the decision that changed everything. Because when your brain is under attack, you don't have the luxury of time. You have 3 hours. Beyond that, the destruction becomes permanent and irreversible. But here's what most people never get told. There is a test requiring just 10 seconds. Literally 10 seconds. And those 10 seconds can be the boundary between standing tomorrow or never standing again. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to identify a stroke in just 10 seconds using 4 straightforward signs that even a young child can grasp. I'll walk you through exactly what to do within the first 3 minutes to rescue an entire brain. And most critically, I'll explain how to reduce your personal risk so this never visits you or someone you cherish. Because the reality is nearly 80% of strokes are completely preventable. If you value speaking tomorrow, moving tomorrow, recognizing your family tomorrow, do not close this page. What you are about to absorb can genuinely save a life. My name is Dr. Maxwell Martin, and I want to share something doctors frequently fail to communicate clearly enough until it's already too late. A stroke shows absolutely no favoritism. It doesn't care whether you're 30 or 70. It doesn't care whether you eat clean or run marathons. The statistics tell us 1 in 4 people reading this will experience a stroke at some point in their lifetime. 1 in 4. Pause and look around you for a moment. Count 4 people you deeply love: a parent, a partner, a friend, a sibling. According to the data, one of them will suffer a stroke. It could be you. But here's the truth that changes absolutely everything. Your brain warns you before it happens. It sends signals. It is pleading for help. The tragedy is that most people have never learned to listen. Picture your brain as a city. Blood vessels are the roads. Oxygen and nutrients are the traffic that keeps everything alive and functioning. Now imagine one of those roads suddenly becomes fully blocked. No oxygen, no fuel. The buildings begin shutting down one by one, permanently. That is a stroke, and every single minute you hesitate, nearly 2 million brain cells are destroyed. 2 million. Those cells never come back. There is no reset. There is no second opportunity. It's like burning pages from a book. Once they're gone, that knowledge disappears forever. Those pages might govern your right hand, or your ability to whisper, "I love you," or the memory of your children's faces. But there is a treatment that can reverse this damage if administered in time. It's called TPA. It dissolves the clot, restores circulation, and rescues brain tissue. But it only functions within a very specific window, roughly 3 to 4 hours from the moment symptoms begin. Beyond that, it doesn't matter how advanced the hospital is, how skilled the physician is, or how much wealth you carry. It's too late. That's why identifying a stroke instantly is everything. That's precisely why you must learn this right now. 4 letters, 10 seconds, 1 life protected. The FAST test was developed by emergency neurologists after witnessing thousands of patients arrive beyond saving. Their question was simple: how do we make stroke recognition so accessible that absolutely anyone can apply it, even without medical training? The answer became FAST. The letter F represents face. Look directly at the person and instruct them to smile. If one side of the face remains still, if the smile appears lopsided or drooping, that is not tiredness. That is a stroke. You may observe one corner of the mouth sagging or one eye unable to close correctly. This occurs because the stroke is cutting off the portion of the brain that commands the facial muscles. The letter A represents arms. Instruct the person to extend both arms straight out in front of them as though balancing a tray. If one arm drifts down, drops uncontrollably, or simply cannot be raised, that is a stroke. It's as though the brain abruptly severs its connection to that arm. The arm is present, but the signal has vanished. The letter S represents speech. Ask them to repeat a simple phrase, something like, "The sky is blue." If the words emerge slurred, scrambled, incomplete, or make no sense, that is a stroke. Sometimes the person knows precisely what they want to express, but their mouth simply won't cooperate. This is terrifying for the person living it, which is exactly why staying composed and moving fast is absolutely critical. And finally, T stands for time. If you witness even one of these signs, you call emergency services immediately. Not in 5 minutes, not after watching and waiting. You do not offer water. You do not administer aspirin. You do not personally drive them to the hospital. You call 911. Paramedics can initiate treatment en route, notify the hospital ahead of arrival, and deliver the patient directly to a stroke-ready unit. This alone can conserve 20 to 40 minutes. And those minutes frequently determine whether someone fully heals or carries permanent disability for life. When you call, document the precise moment symptoms began. Take out your phone, check the clock, write it down. That single piece of information matters more than anything else you can offer the medical team. Let me share a true story. Carlos was 52 years old, an engineer, in good health. He ran 3 times weekly. One Saturday morning, he was sharing coffee with his 19-year-old daughter. Suddenly, he dropped the cup. Initially, she assumed clumsiness. Then she noticed his face looked different. She recalled a video she had watched just weeks before. 4 letters, fast. She asked her father to smile. One side of his face didn't respond. She asked him to lift both arms. His right arm fell immediately. She asked him to repeat a sentence. The words couldn't form. She grabbed her phone and dialed emergency services. "My father is having a stroke. Symptoms started 2 minutes ago." She recorded the time. The ambulance arrived within minutes. The stroke team was assembled before they even entered the hospital. From first symptom to treatment, under 1 hour elapsed. Today, Carlos has recovered almost entirely. He walks, he speaks, he works. His neurologist told his daughter, "Had you waited even 30 additional minutes, your father would almost certainly be paralyzed. You saved his life." That daughter later wrote to me and said, "I'm not a doctor. I simply remembered 4 letters. Fast." And here is the question I need you to sit with right now. If someone you love has a stroke tomorrow, would you know what to do? Now, FAST detects the majority of strokes, but it does not catch all of them, and this is where countless lives are lost. There are additional warning signals that people confuse for harmless issues, and that confusion costs them everything. I need you to memorize these signs with the same urgency, because some of the most catastrophic strokes don't appear dramatic initially. The first hidden warning sign is a sudden explosive headache. Not an ordinary headache, not tension, not a migraine. This is frequently described as the single worst headache of my life. It detonates within seconds, like a thunderclap, as though something erupted inside the skull. This can signal a hemorrhagic stroke, where a brain vessel has ruptured and is actively bleeding. This is an absolute emergency. Call 911 without hesitation. Every second is precious. The second sign is sudden vision loss or visual disruption. One eye goes completely dark. Vision turns blurry. Double vision surfaces without cause. This indicates the stroke is targeting the optic nerve or the brain's visual processing center. The third sign is intense dizziness combined with total loss of balance. This is not gentle lightheadedness. The room rotates violently. The person cannot walk in a straight line or stand without collapsing. This commonly points to a stroke in the cerebellum, the region of the brain responsible for balance and coordination. The fourth sign is sudden disorientation. The person cannot identify their location, the day, or the faces surrounding them. In elderly individuals, this is sometimes dismissed as dementia or simply aging, but if it emerges suddenly within minutes or hours, it may be a stroke. The fifth sign is numbness or tingling restricted to one side of the body. An arm, a leg, or an entire side abruptly feels disconnected, heavy, or entirely without sensation. The sixth sign is difficulty swallowing. The person suddenly cannot swallow their own saliva or chokes with ease. This can signal a stroke impacting the brainstem, one of the most perilous locations. The seventh sign is sudden nausea and vomiting without food poisoning or underlying illness, particularly when paired with any of the other symptoms listed above. Now listen very carefully because this next section costs more lives than almost anything else. Sometimes the symptoms emerge and then vanish completely. The arm responds again, speech normalizes, vision sharpens, and the person thinks, "That was strange, but I feel fine now." This is a fatal error. What just occurred may have been a TIA, a transient ischemic attack, commonly called a mini stroke. This is your brain delivering a final warning, a desperate cry for intervention. 40% of individuals who experience a TIA and disregard it will suffer a major permanent stroke within the following 3 months. 40%. I treated a man named Roberto, 68 years old. One Sunday afternoon, his right arm suddenly became unresponsive. 5 minutes later, full function returned. He told no one. 2 weeks later, he suffered a massive stroke, permanent paralysis. His neurologist told him through tears, "That first episode was your warning. If you had come in that day, we could have stopped this." If symptoms appear, even briefly, proceed to the emergency room immediately. Do not wait. Do not sleep through it. Do not convince yourself it was nothing. Now I want to give you the precise emergency protocol. Let this become instinct. If someone is having a stroke directly in front of you, at minute 0, 15 seconds, perform fast. Face, arms, speech. One positive sign is sufficient. Minute 15 to 60 seconds, dial 911. State clearly, "This person is having a stroke. Symptoms began at this exact time. Our precise location is here." Record the moment symptoms started. This is critical. While awaiting the ambulance, lay the person down with their head slightly elevated, 15 to 30 degrees. Loosen any restrictive clothing. If they vomit, position them on their side. Speak calmly. Offer steady reassurance. Do not provide food, water, or any medication. Do not transport them yourself. Now here is the most empowering truth of everything I'll share with you today. 80% of strokes should never occur. They are preventable. Enemy number 1 is high blood pressure. It drives nearly half of all strokes. Target blood pressure below 120/80. Never abandon medication because you feel well. High blood pressure operates in silence and it kills. The second enemy is diabetes. Uncontrolled blood sugar quietly destroys brain arteries. Keep your HbA1c below 7%. The third enemy is elevated cholesterol, especially LDL. It deposits plaque inside brain arteries like rust building inside a pipe. The fourth enemy is smoking. It triples your stroke risk. 2 years after quitting, that risk drops by a full 50%. Let me tell you about Teresa, 65 years old. She carried every risk factor imaginable: high blood pressure, diabetes, elevated cholesterol, obesity, and smoking. Her physician told her plainly, "You are months from a major stroke." She transformed everything. She stopped smoking, walked every single day, and committed to her medications. 1 year later, her stroke risk fell from 45% down to 8%. She wrote to me saying, "I believed it was too late at my age. I was wrong. It is never too late." Now here is precisely what you must act on today. First, teach your family this weekend. Walk them through fast. Practice it. Make it second nature. Second, create a personal medical information card with your name, conditions, medications, allergies, and emergency contacts. Keep it in your wallet and beside your bed. Third, post fast reminders throughout your home on the refrigerator, in the bathroom, by the bedroom. Fourth, configure emergency medical information directly on your phone. Paramedics can access it even with your phone locked. Fifth, conduct a household drill every 6 months. Practice recognition and calling for emergency assistance. Families who do this save real lives. I have witnessed it personally. When we started this conversation, someone somewhere on this planet lost their voice forever. During the time you've been reading, dozens more people have had strokes. Some reached care in time, some did not. The difference was never luck. It was knowledge. You now carry that knowledge. 4 letters, fast, 3 hours, 80% preventable. Now it is your responsibility to put it into action. If this moved you, share it urgently and smash that subscribe button right now. Join the family, because together we are building a world where nobody loses their voice, their movement, or their life to something this preventable. I'm Dr. Maxwell Martin. Guard your brain. Move fast. Always.